Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Sandra Sells and Tells. Real estate, real people, real Plymouth. I'm your host, Sandra Smith, and today's episode is about something we don't always think about until we need it. Transportation. Imagine needing to get to a medical appointment, dialysis, cancer treatment, or even the grocery store, and not having a way to get there. No car, no ride, no options. Today, I'm joined by Will Shain, co-founder of Taking People Places, a nonprofit that is quite literally changing lives, one ride at a time. So grab your coffee, tea, cocktail, or just listen along, because I'm excited to talk to Will. So Will, thank you for being on my show.
Sandra, it's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Only my second podcast, so be kind to me. I'll do the best I can.
Okay, I'll be gentle.
Okay.
All right. This is something the community really likes, and that's what I try to talk about on this show, things that really benefit our community. So what is Taking People Places?
Taking People Places, many people know it as TPP. It's a transportation option for local nonprofits that are in the area that work with seniors or work with those that are differently abled, the disabled in our community, individuals that don't have dependable transportation.
Very good. Is that what inspired you to start that?
I think what inspired me was a call from the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce from Amy Naples in 2018 saying, it's Thursday night, we got an important meeting on Friday morning and we don't have a facilitator, and I was supposed to do that. So I walked in, and with Matt Muratori's help, who was our state rep at the time,
Yep.
I co-led a meeting that day where what impressed me was that I walked into the old chamber office, old chamber meeting room, and there had to be 30 people there. So all these people were united in the notion that transportation was a real problem statewide, but also in Greater Plymouth. So that's what inspired me to at least help them facilitate meetings so that they would stay focused, get things done, and I would drive accountability to get to the finish line, which hopefully was to start a program.
No pun intended there. Drive the accountability.
Bingo.
I like it. So that's probably the specific moment or story that you realized transportation was a missing link for so many people.
Yeah. It's been written up in multiple studies that the hospitals put together here at Beth Israel, as well as the Commonwealth. Shana 23 is also a group that understands that if you can't get to your doctor's appointment, then your health is compromised. If you can't get to work, you can't be productive, et cetera.
Very true, very true. And I do a lot of volunteer work for the local Plymouth Center of Active Living, so I'm well aware of the needs for transportation. And I was on the senior task force at the inception of it and getting it going, and that is just one of the biggest pillars of what's needed for our older population. So who are the people you're serving, and what kind of rides are the most common?
Sure. So the groups that we serve, our business model is to have partners. Okay. And the partners include groups like the Center for Active Living. Yep. It includes individuals like Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, Living Independently Forever, the Arc of Plymouth Cape Cod, REACH, Old Colony Elder Services, and others. But those partners donate money to us, and we go out and raise funding as well. Our business model is that we try to match 50-50 with any money that's coming in. So if you put somebody in your responsibility into a car, I pay for half of that. Our average rides are about $30, so we're paying $15, and the organizations are paying $15. And, at first I thought a $30 ride just to get to your doctor's appointment seems rather expensive when you can potentially take a GATRA bus for $250 or something. But if you can't get to the bus stop, then you can't get there. And if the timing isn't right, you might get to the doctor's office and have to wait 2 hours because that was the only way that you could get there. And you might wait for 2 hours to get another ride to go home. So those partners came together, and we took a year to build the model out. And now we are serving those that are seniors, generally 60 or older. Also, any people with disabilities, if you will. They can be developmentally disabled. They can be physically disabled. But we're also working with individuals with addiction so that the hospital, that's their primary focus. Individuals that crash and come to the ER if they go home, their recidivism rate grows. They go back into addiction. But if you can put them in a car and send them to a treatment center, then a Lyft vehicle comes in, and that's our partner, Lyft, the rideshare company.
That's excellent to know. Can you share one story that really captures the heart of what you do? I know there's probably several, but maybe there's one that stands out that would really touch.
That's as easy as a question that is. That's really a challenging question because every ride is equally important to that individual. We have organizations that didn't know whether this model would work for them. I think of the Bethesda House, which works with young mothers or mothers-to-be. They need dependable transportation to get to a prenatal visit, postnatal visit. And when they first joined us, they donated $250. We matched $250. And they would take a ride here or there. I was just looking at the stats before I came in. Just last month, they did 24 rides, which is almost one a day. So their particular individuals, they're young women who need that extra help. They're in temporary shelter perhaps there, and they got to get to the doctor's appointment for their prenatal visit or with their newborn baby. So that makes me feel good. My mom was a visiting nurse. She worked with all sorts of individuals in my original hometown of Guilford, Connecticut. But I got that sense of it all. So that's
excellent, and I love that you're talking about prenatal, so that there's no age limitation on this for who needs the ride for these important appointments.
No, that's a good question. Anybody any age can go, but if you're 18 or under 18,
yep.
You need an adult supervisor. Lyft won't pick up a teenager or a child that's younger, but it's a single ride. It can be two adults with a child. If
yep.
there's room in the car, you can take it. It's a single charge, and off they go.
Okay, good. So what would surprise people most about transportation insecurities?
I don't think people appreciate how easy the rest of us have it. We have vehicles. We want to go someplace, we go. It becomes an annoyance to us if we have to go to the airport. But, if we park our car at the commuter lot and wait for a bus to pick us up, but we don't appreciate that it's an all or nothing thing for some of these individuals. They can't get to the doctor's office. If I can't get a car to the hospital, they go home and they may rebound in another case of addiction. All these things occur, and I think when you see it day in and day out, and I'm not, we don't live every single case. With 14 partners right now, they're the ones on the ground seeing it all happen. But I can see the statistics. I can see who we're pushing through the organization, and I get personally involved with these people when there might be a problem with a ride. Yeah. Getting a refund, getting a redirection, figuring out how our program may have fallen short so that we can improve it and move on.
That's good to hear that you are aware of that or those, issues that might arise, because nothing ever goes 100% all the time. So the fact that you get involved and help to resolve that is big. So what do you think makes this work so safely and smoothly?
Well, all of the rideshare companies around the nation have to be screened by their state organizations. It's my understanding that Massachusetts has higher standards than most states. But we do get some complaints from time to time. Somebody didn't pick me up. Somebody was rude to me. Somebody dropped me off the wrong spot. They showed up much later. I missed my appointment. They didn't show up at all. But for the most part, I would say that 99% of our rides go smoothly, safely. We've never had an accident that I'm aware of. We simply had disconnects with pickup and drop off and things like that. So I think it's a safe model. But every time we open up the Boston Globe or the New York Times, you'll read about something that happens in the
right.
Uber organization with the Lyft organization. So I can't stop that kind of news from happening, except that while I can't fix the problem directly, when I see something, we have a process put together with the Lyft organization. Within a couple of days, we can resolve anything that goes down. And we've never had a situation where anybody's been harmed, accidents have occurred, or anything like that.
Excellent, excellent. So question there regarding like the Lyft drivers, because, I've used Lyft or Uber for transportation to go somewhere or something or visiting another state. For this particular program, is there specific Lyft drivers that are part of it, or like you can send out the request and any Lyft driver can respond to it like they do in the normal situation?
It is my understanding, I believe it to be true, that the drivers that respond to our request for rides are in fact given additional training because they know they're going to be working with seniors who may have some limitations in their communication, may not be clear or comfortable with the idea of jumping into a car with a stranger, and they understand that they are disabled. There may be a need to help somebody through, open the door, get to the program, hold their arm, get them to the car. But these are not dedicated drivers just for us or programs like ours. So you could have the same driver that we have, but we have, I think, a limited base that's enough to handle the demand that we put through the system.
Okay. So what is your biggest need right now?
Now, tomorrow, yesterday, it's always chasing funding.
Funding. I was wondering that. And where all does your funding come from? Aside, I know in the beginning you mentioned different organizations that you partner with.
Right now, it's federal, state, and occasionally local donations. We get donations from clubs. I'm a member of the Plymouth Lions Club. The Lions Club has always been generous with its donations. But our biggest grants come from either federal or state resources. The community transit grant program is something we've depended on since day one. When we weren't a 501c3 to start, we had a partnership with GATRA, who saw that they couldn't supply all the needs of the community. So they were a nonprofit. They wrote grants for us for the first few years. For the last 2 years, I've been writing the grants because we got our 501c3. And I want to break away from that, but I need to locate private foundations that want to do this kind of work on the South Shore. And I want to take our website that was launched last year and add some kind of donation button to it and ask the community if they can help us out. So I'm hoping that will be. I've been experimenting with that. The Zephy nonprofit donation portal is something we use with the Plymouth Lions. I'm going to get my resources to add it to our website, and then we'll have to go out there and start promoting that. Hope if somebody donated $7 to us. Yeah. Right. That would contribute to a $15 ride just like that,
That's great.
So every dollar when we get to the community and start asking for assistance will be helpful.
That's excellent. So that's a way that small businesses can help support nonprofits like yours. And so right now that Donate Now is not on your website yet, but we're working on that. If somebody wanted to donate and help part of this funding, how do they go about doing that?
If they can locate us on the web at www.takingpeopleplaces.org, they're going to find that primary contact is me. They can find my email on there. They can find my telephone number. Same number I use for my executive coaching business is the same number I use for taking people places. If they call that number, they'll reach me directly. And I'm at an age and a stage in life where there are no 9 to 5 hours. I work when I wake up and I keep going till I drop. At the end of the day, I'm either servicing a nonprofit or I'm helping one of my coaching clients. But that's the sweet part of life.
All right. That's excellent to know. And I'm definitely, after this podcast, we'll definitely talk because I'm part of a networking group, Plymouth networking group, which we focus on working with seniors and we raise funds for seniors of Plymouth County. But in doing that, we offer grants for people that might need them up to $300 for individual or $500 for a program, but I'm quite sure that we have the funds that we would be able to donate because this is right up our alley for like what we're doing for this networking group that I've been part of for well over 15 years. So I'm excited to learn so much more about this today. This is such a great topic, and I know it's such a need in our community. How many rides a week would you say you provide? Is there, and I'm sure every week is different.
I'm pretty good with math, so I'm going to start at year and then I'll back into it.
Okay, perfect.
Through no particular effort on our part, we grew last year by 60%.
That's excellent.
The year before that, we had grown in general between 15 and 20%. So the answer is that last year we completed over 6,800 rides in the greater Plymouth area, one-way rides. So if 6,000 would be 500 a month divided by 4.3, you're talking 100 rides a week, or more.
You are good on math.
and I suspect, nothing has backed off. So January was barnstormers, and February is looking like it's going to be huge. We probably do 7,500 rides this coming year.
Holy cow, that's great. So you say the greater Plymouth area. Like, do you take people into Boston for appointments, or
do.
what? Okay. So is there how far? South Shore, Cape Cod?
If the agencies that we collaborate with want to send somebody to a hospital in Worcester, which they have in the past, it's fine with us.
Okay.
If they're going to pay half, we're going to pay half. We're currently having a financial crisis where we're only doing 25% instead of 50%. But I'm just trying to get to June 30th, and I'm waiting for the community transit grant awards to be announced. I suspect we'll be fine after that. In the past, we've had extra money, and we've given 75% instead of 50%. Now it's 25%, but I hope that's short-lived. But the answer is, it doesn't matter. Most of our rides, all of our rides must originate or end in the Plymouth area.
Okay.
But if they have a doctor in Brockton, a doctor in Boston, if they have to go to Providence, we've had rides that go out there. So we've had rides that might cost $500 or $600.
Okay.
But if the agency feels it's important,
right,
we're willing to come up with our portion.
All right. That's excellent. But they have to start in Plymouth. Okay. Why is local involvement so important in towns like Plymouth and the South Shore?
Because individual organizations can't do everything alone. Support from the community, even if it's just a pat on the shoulder telling us we're doing a good job, because we're donating our time. Sometimes the problems that I try to resolve are at night. You're tired, but something's up and you got to take care of it. If we could build that portal on our webpage, getting that kind of financial support just means we can extend this program a little bit further. I would hope, maybe someday we'll have a couple of employees, but you're looking at the sole working employee. I have a board of 6 others that represent Department of Developmental Services. It represents, I think we used to have somebody from the ARC. We now have support from the, I didn't write all this stuff down, Katuitt Arts Center on the Cape, and Living Forever. We have some individuals like Frank Carmichael, who is himself is a blind individual, so he understands about challenges. These are the people that give me the advice I need to make certain that I'm heading in the right direction, because before this, I didn't really have an appreciation for the challenges of transportation.
Right, and I don't think that most people do, because they're just not aware. We just go about our daily life, getting through the day, and we're not aware of the challenges that affect so many people unless you're in it. So I guess that leads me to my next question, like awareness. How are you guys getting this word out? Like, I heard it because I met you through networking groups, right? So then I've really learned more, and I'm really enjoying this conversation today. But how do we get that awareness out?
Sure. Well, the easy answer is we haven't had a lot of need to communicate this at a high level. The web page was launched last year, so before that, it was clearly all word of mouth, because we came ready-made at launch with, I think, 15 collaborating organizations, agencies that had seniors or disabled individuals they wanted to help. Our community was there, our entire population. Yeah. But we've had some come and go. Currently, we have 14 organizations. So with limited funding, I'm not out there advertising like crazy.
Right.
If I could have some additional revenue streams, like from concerned citizens, that's why we would update the webpage. But it's only at this point that now we need to turn to private foundations, and that's going to be the marketing approach that we take. Get out there, talk with them, show them the website. I have data like crazy because we're gifted by Lyft with a huge database, giving us everything that we need, where people are going, how long they were in the car, how many miles, everything. I think the state Mass DOT loves us because they ask us questions that I can give them, KPIs, key performance indicators of our group, and they love all those numbers.
Excellent, excellent. This has been very, very educational, and I'm excited to share the news and see how this networking group that I'm part of can help try to donate as well, too. But I'm going to ask you a few final questions, kind of like a little fire round. But what is one word that describes your mission? I know it's a tough
Helping
one.
others, that's 2 words.
That's 2 words.
Community.
Yeah, it really does take a community to bring everything together, no matter what line of work it is. It takes a community. And Plymouth has a very strong community, and there's so many people that are involved in so many things and can help out. So if having you on here today and more people are listening and we can share the word, and hopefully you start getting some funding and donations coming in. But all right, what keeps you going on hard days? Because it sounds like you work sun up till sundown.
I do. I mean, but what keeps me going is just knowing that I'm doing everything I can to better something, whether it's, for profit in my coaching service, helping small businesses, break through their log jams, whether it's the TPP organization, knowing that somebody needs to get somewhere for some purpose, and that makes me feel good, whether it's my active work with the Plymouth Lions, organizing their Oktoberfest last year and just releasing their first website in years. It's up and running with donation portals, or being a founding member of the ill-fated Sims House Foundation that still owns a 2-acre pocket park down in Whitehorse Beach that we maintain on an annual basis. A great place to go and sit, relax, and contemplate. So, I want to give back to the community. This is I guess you'd call this my retirement.
You definitely give back to the community. You are a good human. You do a lot of good, just even volunteer work, but also a lot of behind the scenes. I think a lot of people don't know that really benefit our community and other organizations. So final question, what is your favorite South Shore spot or even Plymouth spot? Plymouth, you just named a couple. Like, I love that you said you go to Sim's house and you can sit there and contemplate.
So 8 or 9 places pop into mind. What's my favorite? Well, we love having dinner, looking at the harbor. I love, so it's kind of a tie between La Baia and Vitamin C,
Well, they're right next to each other.
They're right next to each other.
Nice view.
Easy to park. People that I know live in that area. We get together and we have a good time.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's always helpful when you have other people there with you and have a good time like that. So that's wonderful. So if people wanted to reach you, I guess, do you want to say your website one more time for me that has all your information?
It's www.takingpeopleplaces.org. And if you want to communicate with me, you can either contact me at Will, W-I-L-L, at takingpeopleplaces.org. Or if you don't remember that, my professional address, which I'll answer, is Will at willshain.com, WILLSHAIN.com.
Very easy. So, I hope you guys wrote that down or rewind so that you can get that. But it's been great learning about that. And I always end my podcast with a key of the week to try to tie in the whole real estate deal. And I never know what it's going to be. Sometimes I always write it down before we start this. Sometimes it ties in with whatever you were talking about. But this week's key of the week is community isn't just where we live. It's how we show up for each other. And I think you talked on that a lot. So I must have felt inspired by what you were going to be talking about. Sometimes changing someone's life isn't about grand gestures. It's about one ride, 1 hour, one small act that can make a huge difference. Simple and strong. My key of the week is this. Community isn't just where we live. It's how we show up for each other. Will, thank you so much for your incredible work that you're doing in reminding us that impact doesn't require perfection. It requires participation.
Thank you, Sandra, for this opportunity. I do appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad to have you on here. If you want to learn more about taking people places and you want to donate, check out his website. It'll be linked on this once it's up on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. And as always, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or just want to talk life in Plymouth and the South Shore, I am always here. Until next time, this is Sandra Smith reminding you that real estate is about more than homes. It's about the people.